terrifying. Tom Brokaw is a close friend of mine, and to this day, I have a son named Tom. I didn't name him after Tom Brokaw, but if I didn't have affection for Tom Brokaw, I would not have named a son Tom. He was, I don't have a brother, but if you know people who have brothers who were 10 years older, you know that you could never be that big, you could never be that smart, you would never, well, I never got over that. The good news was that with Tom Brokaw sitting next to me, I was completely comfortable under any circumstance. Any news would break overnight. My first week on the air with Tom, Mao Zedong had died. The news of his death was released several days later. So I woke up with news radio, and I'm awake, but I don't always hear the news. I just know I'm awake. So I go to work, and Mao Zedong has died. Give me a stool. I sat in the corner to stay out of the way. Just stay out of the way. And it was one of those shows that went on for another hour or maybe an extra hour. And Tom Brokaw, whose nickname is Duncan the Wonder Horse, it was before the Ever Ready Bunny. I mean, he just, had stamina that wouldn't quit. And, the control room, they're booking people, they're booking China experts. And, one would get up and another one would put a microphone on. Tom is ad-libbing. He's, who's this? Who are they? He interviews them, apparently without preparation. I'm just sitting in the corner, just dazzled. To this day, there is no one like him, no one who could do that. But I saw him do that in the first month of my tenure on the Today program. 2 popes died, not one but 2, within 30 days of each other. And I watched Tom Brokaw and the Today Show. It was a marvel. It was the most important newscast, on air. I was in good company. I wasn't afraid, except for the time Tom didn't show up.
Is there a story there?
He didn't come. He overslept or something. Actually, there were 2 occasions where I had to fill in for Tom, but in that one, what I remember about that morning is Gene Shalit and I have to do the show by ourselves until Tom does come. And Gene Shalit asks me, we're joking around, and he said, fill in the blank. Blank are a girl's best friend. I think he's introducing Carol Channing is on the show that day. And I say, breakfast? And Gene just loses it. And, who knows why I said that. That was funny. The other occasion, we were traveling. The Today Show traveled. We were in Mexico. And I was at the Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City. And Tom was about, 40 miles out of Mexico City at Teotihuacan to broadcast from the Pyramid of the Moon. He's on top of it. It's dark in Mexico. And apparently there had been a terrible rainstorm the night before and had knocked out the transmitter that bounced the signal from here to there to there to there to there to Tom. So he was out of the show. Mm-hmm. There was no Tom. And I am preparing, I'm standing on camera in the museum, and in my earpiece I hear the director say, does Jane have her emergency script? And I'm thinking, and what would be an emergency script? There's no emergency script. There is no such thing. And that's when with 3 minutes to air, it becomes clear that there is no Tom Brokaw, there is only Jane Pauley. And at the end of the show, the executive producer from New York called and not the executive producer, the head of NBC News, thought it was a really good show. He had some comment about it, but he hadn't missed Tom. Tom joined us an hour later, an hour into the show. But I had done the first hour all by myself, including I had to vamp for 5 minutes. I just talk. And I talked about the Aztecs, the Aztec Indians, because the night before I went to sleep, there was a brochure by my bed at the hotel. And everything in that brochure was still there, and it came out, and I pulled it off. And it was for about 12 hours. I was the heroine. I saved the day. But no one was ever glad to see Tom Brokaw than I was. And he appears just as the sun is rising. So it looked like it was on purpose, like we waited to introduce Tom when the sun came up.